Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for this training session. Today, we're going to be talking about sensitivity analysis in capital budgeting, what it is, why it's useful, and how you can apply it in your decision-making process. This tool is essential for when evaluating the risks involved in potential investments, especially when you're not certain how accurate your projections will be. Let's dive in. What is sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis is a financial modeling tool we use to test how changes in input variables affect the outcome of a project. In capital budgeting, it's typically used to examine how net present value, internal rate of return, or payback period might shift if certain assumptions turn out to be wrong. It helps us answer questions like, what happens if sales are lower than expected? Or what if operating costs go up? Instead of relying on one set of projections, we explore multiple outcomes to understand the potential range of results, both good and bad. Why use sensitivity analysis in capital budgeting? Well, the main reason to use sensitivity analysis is to manage risk and uncertainty. When you're evaluating an investment, you're working with a lot of assumptions: future cash flows, market demand, interest rates, and more. If just one of those assumptions is off, it could dramatically affect the outcome. By isolating variables and testing them one at a time, sensitivity analysis helps you identify which assumptions are most critical. This gives you more control and helps you prepare for worst case or best case scenarios, leading to smarter and safer decisions. Qualitative steps in conducting sensitivity analysis. The first step in sensitivity analysis is to identify the assumptions that are most uncertain and impactful. For example, you might look at unit sales, fixed costs, variable costs, or discount rates. Once you've selected those key variables, you define a base case scenario. This is your best estimate based on available data. Then you decide on a range for each variable. What happens if sales drop by 10%, or if costs rise by 15%? Finally, you evaluate how much those changes impact your outcome, like net present value. This step is more about planning and strategy than calculation. It lays the groundwork for the next, more technical phase. Quantitative steps in sensitivity analysis. Once you've defined your variables and ranges, the next step is to build a model, usually in Excel. You take your base case financial projections and then adjust one input at a time. For example, you only change sales forecast, keeping everything else constant. Then record the effect on your chosen financial metric, like NPV. You repeat this for each variable, adjusting up and down within your defined range. To make this easier to interpret, many people use a sensitivity table or a line graph to visualize how the output responds to changes in each input. This helps communicate your findings clearly to decision makers or stakeholders. Incorporating project risk into capital budgeting. Sensitivity analysis plays a key role in measuring and incorporating risk into capital budgeting. It shows how vulnerable a project is to changes in key assumptions. For instance, if a small increase in operating costs causes your NPV to turn negative, that's a huge red flag. You can also use this tool to find break-even points, like the minimum sales volume needed to justify the investment. While sensitivity analysis is often used on its own, it can also be combined with scenario analysis or Monte Carlo simulations for a deeper dive into risk. Ultimately, it helps decision makers choose projects not only to look good on paper, but can also withstand real-world uncertainty. To sum it up, Sensitivity analysis is a simple but powerful tool in capital budgeting. It helps you test your assumptions, understand the variables that matter the most, and make better investment decisions. Whether you're evaluating a new product line, a major facility upgrade, or an international expansion, sensitivity analysis gives you the insight you need to manage risk and act with confidence. It's one of the most practical tools you can use when the stakes are high and the future is uncertain. That is all we have for today, and I hope that you enjoyed your training.